Oh, they're back. Sorry about that.
All right, let's do it again. So, finding your props. I don't know if anybody saw any part of that, but I'm going to start again because we're saving this video. So, yet again, no, scoot your hips down further. Down, down. Your head needs to be fully on the block. Down, down. There we go. All right, I'm going to get Kaylee to lift up her knees and adjust the block, the bolster, so her legs have a nice bend, and her feet are kind of hovering above the ground. So I'm placing something in underneath her feet because it's nice for your feet to know where the ground is. Helps you feel like you're not kind of falling in space, and it helps turn off that fight or flight. Kaylee likes to have her hands on her stomach, but you're free to bring your hands wherever is comfortable. And if you do have them down, sometimes taking your elbows a little wider and propping something like a blanket or a towel underneath your arms can be super comfortable. So people that have been doing yoga nidra in the studio with me for a long time know all this stuff. Feel free to start getting ready and wiggling and getting set up. Did you want something under your neck or no? Yeah. All right. So then just try and make sure that your chin is up to the ceiling and you're not flattening your neck towards the ground, pushing your chin backwards. And we like to use eye pillows. So eye pillows can help turn out the sensation of sight, just help you check in more internally. Some people like them, some people don't. You can use just a face cloth or any kind of towel over your eyes if you don't have anything. Try and make it something pretty light. And then if you are using an eye pillow, just make sure that the weight of the eye pillow is not actually on your eyes, but more on your forehead and your cheeks. You want it right on the eyeballs.
The ball is real, it's not moving.
All right, so we are going to get started. Make sure you take the time to really get settled in. Take all the wiggles out. Settle in. Land on the ground. So really check in on your back. Make sure that you didn't push your lower back flat to the ground. And give your hips a little wiggle. Make sure that it's nice and soft and kind of in its natural curve position. And your neck again. Little bit of curve in your neck. We're not pushing our neck down towards the ground. Neck has a nice, soft, natural curve. But maybe take your chin a little smooth wiggles. See if you can feel like you can get your neck just a little bit longer. Really land on the ground. We're going to focus on our breath just to get focused on it and then let it go. So, starting to focus in on your breath, and if you haven't closed your eyes already, go ahead and close them. If you're not comfortable with closing your eyes for practice, then go ahead and find something to softly focus on. So starting just to tune into your breath to see where it's at. So you can do like a little check-in. If you're kind of panting and short in breath or only breathing up into your chest, it tells you a lot about how you're feeling, how your body is feeling right now. You're breathing nice and long and slow, maybe a little too slow. Maybe you're feeling a little sluggish and you're not really drawing a full breath in, just kind of a soft, slow in. So just notice where you're at. See how you're feeling. See how your mind is. Just kind of do a check-in and ask yourself, how am I doing? And in these practices where we're trying to remain still for a long period of time, it can be very helpful to really take in your environment. Perhaps really just taking a quick peek around the room, looking around, knowing where you're at. You're really checking into your brain and telling yourself, this is where I am at this moment. And then you can check in on the sounds. So try not to label them, but just notice the sounds that are present in your environment right now. Notice what is there. We can't make the entire world a Zen, quiet yoga studio. The practice of meditation or any of the practices is not about making everything around you all quiet and Zen, but being quiet within yourself so that whatever is around you doesn't bother you so much. So it's not about worrying that the noises outside are distractions and you'll never be able to meditate because all you can think about are these sounds. The practice is to allow those sounds to be there. Get used to the sounds. It'd be really helpful to kind of tell yourself, this is Yoga Nidra. I'm going to stay present and try to remain alert. It's okay to drift off. It's okay if you feel like you fell asleep. Sometimes you can feel like you really fell asleep and you're in some kind of dreamland. But you're actually not. You're somewhat present. And when I call you up to sit up, you sit up still. You're not 100% asleep, and maybe that's just what your body needs to be doing right now. So give yourself permission to do what your body needs. Don't be frustrated with yourself. But try to remain alert. So give yourself permission to remain alert, to pay attention to the instructions. And then it can also be very helpful to say to yourself, right here in this moment, all of my needs are met. Slowly beginning to turn off that fight or flight system and land in the room, on the ground. And let's start by relaxing the body, so bringing the body attention down to the hips. Feeling the support below the hips, really loosening and softening all the muscles around the hips. And muscles into the low back, they press down into the thighs to help us move, get ready to run. So as if you could check in with each of these muscles one by one, and just gently seeing all the work is done. You can rest, you can relax. Can let go. And then send your intention slowly up your spine as if you could visit each vertebrae at a time. Like a little circle around each vertebrae. Checking in, finding tension, finding holding patterns. Maybe making a little more space between each vertebrae. Mind is a powerful tool. Maybe you can imagine little pockets of soft clouds, fluffy space between each vertebrae. Gently unwinding and undoing any holding patterns and tensions in their spine. And then land at the base of the skull, right where the spine meets the skull. Imagine letting go and releasing and softening all the muscles that hold the skull. Allowing the skull to land a little more firmly into the support below it. And then we'll begin with the rotation of consciousness. Just practicing sending our awareness and our focus to single points of the body. We'll begin with the right hand. Become aware of the thumb on the right hand. Find sensation in the first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger. Palm of the right hand, back of the right hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, right shoulder, armpit. Travel down the rib cage, rib at a time. Find the space between the rib cage and the hip. Right hip, thigh, kneecap, lower leg, ankle, heel, arch, ball of the right foot, right big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe. Land your awareness on the entire right side of the body. As if turning on the awareness to each and every cell on the right side of the body. Gently shift your awareness over to the left hand thumb. Find the left first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger. Palm of the left hand, back of the left hand, left wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder. Travel down the rib cage, rib at a time. Find the space between the rib cage and the hip. Left hip, thigh, kneecap, lower leg, ankle, heel, arch, ball of the left foot, left big toe, first toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe. Land your awareness on the left side of the body. Become entirely aware of the left side of the body. Now begin to move a little more quickly, left and right sides. Left big toe, right big toe. All of the toes on both feet. Left heel, right heel, both heels. Left ankle, right ankle, both ankles. Left knee, right knee, both knees. Left hip, right hip, cross the hips. Left lower back, right lower back, cross the lower back. Back of the left rib cage, back of the right rib cage, cross the mid back. Left shoulder blade, right shoulder blade. Across the upper back and shoulders. Left hand, right hand, both hands. Left elbow, right elbow, both elbows. Left arm, right arm, both arms. Left ear, right ear, in between the ears. Left eye, right eye, both eyes. And then as if you could fall gently from your eyesight in the center of your eyes, shift as if you're starting to experience your peripheral vision, the sides of your eyes, outer corners. And then soften as if you're trying to fall backwards from the eyes to the very center of the brain. And look back from this position towards the skull, towards the forehead, as if creating a little internal television on the inside of your forehead. And resting here for a moment to allow space for whatever is present here. Greeting yourself as you would a dear friend, without judgment. We have the opportunity to work with a little intention here. And an intention is a positive thought, something you'd like to work with. For example, if I would like to work with self-worth, I would give myself the intention of I am worthy. If I'd like to work with my health, I would give myself the intention I am strong and healthy. So bring to mind a positive sentence that you would like to work with. Try not to include the words not. It's a positive, short, and precise sentence. And when you have it, allow yourself to whisper inside as if you're whispering it to each and every cell of your body. And say it as many times as you feel you need. And say it as if you believe your whole body is listening right now. Say it with truth and conviction. Again, say it the way that you would to a dear friend, without judgment and filled with love. Another word for this intention is truth vow. And we say it because We believe our internal truth knows it's already true. We're making a vow to our inner truth. We're going to move on to the energetic layer of the body. So from this place in the center of our mind, we're going to connect with going up and down our spine. Whatever visual we can give ourselves to help ourselves imagine energy moving from our brain down our spine to the base of our spine and then all the way back up. You can give it a color, or texture, or temperature. Start to connect with the idea of being able to visualize this energetic highway, our spinal cord. Begin to connect with the idea that this is moving freely, free of misaligned bones, or holding patterns or tension, all the way from our brain down our spinal cord to our tailbone and all the way back up. And then imagining just above us, there's a little cloud of energy, and it contains precisely what we need in this moment. We don't need to cognitively understand what that is. We're just going to reach out with confidence as if we had a little extension cord that could come through the top of our head, through our crown of our head. We're going to plug into that energy source. Begin to connect with the idea of being recharged down the spinal cord, through the brain, all the way to the tailbone, and then all the way back up. Recharging, bringing in fresh down the spinal cord and bringing out anything no longer needed, any holding patterns, any tension. The journey back up sweeps it away and sends it back out the skull. And then softly picture yourself unplugging from this cloud and returning to your own circuit, gently recharged and refreshed. Fresh energy traveling down the spinal cord to the tailbone and then all the way back up to the brain. This freshly recharged loop of energy. And then begin to extend your energy, going down the spinal cord, all the way down to the toes. And then all the way back up through the spinal cord to the brain. And again, your channel of energy is moving freely, free of holding patterns, free of stuck. your misaligned bones. Gently moving through, sweeping through the body, all the way down to the toes, sending fresh energy to the toes, and then sweeping away any tension, any holding patterns, all the way back to the brain. And then bring your energy channel out to the fingertips. So coming from the brain, down to the chest, and then out to the fingertips, and all the way back. Drawing fresh energy all the way down to the fingertips. And then sweeping away tension and holding patterns and things no longer needed, all the way back up to be recycled right in the center of the brain. Sending down fresh, sweeping away tension. Now we'll move into the sensation of opposites. So begin to bring to mind the sensation of heaviness, filling up your entire physical body with a sensation of heaviness. Torso feels heavier and heavier, perhaps even the feeling of being filled with lead, so heavy and deeply grounded. Arms become heavy, fingertips are heavy, the legs and the toes, the whole body heavy. Like so heavy and so grounded that if a storm were to blow in, could not possibly budge. We're so deeply weighted to the ground. Then let that drift away and begin to fill the body with the opposite sensation. Sensation of lightness. And to feel like you're filling with air. Your torso becomes softer and softer and lighter and lighter. Arms are light, fingertips light. Your legs and your toes are soft and light. Perhaps even beginning to feel like you're drifting away. So light you could blow away on the softest breeze. Lighter and lighter. Fill up your entire body with the sensation of softness and lightness. And then see if you can feel both sensations at the same time. The sensation of lightness and the sensation of heaviness at the same time. Experiencing the sense of opposite sensations. Sensation of lightness and sensation of heaviness at the same time. And then let that drift away and return to that center point of your mind. And again, allowing space for whatever is present here. Beginning to become the observer of your thoughts. As if you could drop below the layer of your thoughts and peek back up and just witness them. See them as they are, as thoughts. Beginning to understand that you are something more than just your thoughts. Something more than just your emotions. Something more than just this physical body. You are the one able to witness sensations in the body, thoughts in the mind, feelings and emotions. And then we'll begin a journey with our imagination. Try to fill in the details as vividly as possible. So imagine you could see yourself lying here, as if you were standing above yourself. You could look down and see yourself just as you are in this moment. Particularly pay attention to any thoughts or judgments or cruel things that might come up when you look down on yourself. And perhaps imagining closing your eyes and starting over, taking another peek until you're able to really just look at yourself and observe yourself with kindness and compassion and just see yourself as you truly are. And don't get frustrated if there are many layers and judgments that you need to pull back and peel off. Maybe today you don't get through all of them, and that's okay too. Just imagine gently sweeping aside all these harsh labels we place on ourselves. And then imagine you can see all the way through to your spinal cord, that energetic highway. Imagine you could see it moving freely. Maybe it has a color or many colors. And then right at the tailbone, rest your awareness here. Begin to see a brilliant red flower starting to blossom and bloom right at the tailbone. Beautiful red flower, blossoming and growing and expanding toward the light, bursting, filled with life. And as it reaches up and toward the sun, toward the light, begin to be aware that it has long, deep roots, rooting it down into the darkness, into the soil, finding nutrients in the darkness. The sensation of opposites reaching down into the darkness so that it can blossom and bloom towards the light. See this beautiful flower expanding and growing, full of life. And then travel just a few inches up, right about the navel on the spinal cord. And here, see a beautiful orange flower blossoming and blooming and growing towards the light, full of life. And be aware that it is expanding roots down into the darkness, rooted down in the darkness so that it can reach up and expand towards the light. And then travel up the spinal cord to just below the rib cage, the solar plexus area. And here, see a beautiful yellow flower blossoming, blooming, and reaching up towards the light. Connect with this flower glowing and blooming and being full of life and firmly rooted into the soil below, this beautiful yellow blossom. And travels right up to the center of the chest. See a beautiful green flower blossoming, blooming, and growing towards the light. Firmly rooted into the ground. It's beautiful green flower filled with life. Connecting to the beauty of each of these flowers. Truly seeing the flowers and the details of the petals. Then land in the center of the throat. Beautiful blue flower is blossoming here. Reaching up, blooming and glowing towards the light. Expanding and blossoming, filled with fresh life. This beautiful blue flower. And then travel a little bit further up into the center of the brain, right where the spinal cord meets the brain. And here, a beautiful purple flower, reaching up, expanding and blossoming towards the light, filled with life. Know that it's rooted deeply down, firmly into the darkness. This beautiful purple flower, paint in all of the details. And then at the crown of the head, a violet flower, blossoming and blooming and growing up towards the light. Paint in the details of this beautiful violet flower. And then observe all of your beautiful flowers, the colors of a rainbow. And just in the way that you would see a rainbow after a storm. Connect with that sensation of awe, the wonder of our life force. Just as beautiful as a rainbow after a storm is the beauty of our life force. See yourself lying there, as beautiful as a rainbow, all the beautiful flowers blossoming and blooming and growing towards the light. Connect again with your red blossom at the tailbone. And take a moment to say, I am grounded. Connect again with your orange flower, right at the navel. And take a moment to say, I am free to be creative. Connect again with your yellow blossom, right at the solar plexus. I allow my emotions to move freely. The center of your chest Your green flower, beautiful blossom. I am love. Your blue flower at your throat, your beautiful blue blossom. I'm free to speak my truth. Land in your purple flower, right in the center of the brain. I am. You can also try to trust my intuition. In the crown of your head, really focusing on being a soft, open blossom, violet, beautiful blossom. So bright and vibrant, it's barely visible, it's hard to look at, it's so bright and so vibrant. And it's glowing and it's connected. And I am connected. And then softly allow that image to soften away and land again in the center of the mind. Again, allowing space for whatever is present here to be present here. And then we'll begin a journey of rapid visualization. And as I say something, allow an image to come to the mind, see it, observe it, and then let it gently drift away. Try not to label or judge whether this image is right or wrong, or be curious about why this image appears. Just allow it to come, see it, observe it, and then let it drift away. So we'll begin with a single feather. Birds migrating. Dewdrops on a spider's web. Sand falling through the fingers. A herd of elephants. The dark side of the moon. Tiny ant. Children playing in a playground. Turtles playing in the ocean. Standing on top of a tall mountain. The hands of someone you love. Diving into the deep blue ocean. Flying unicorn. The eyes of a mentor, the face of a mentor. The sacred temple. Sitting in meditation. See yourself sitting in meditation. Observe yourself sitting in meditation. And before we come back from this deeply restful space, bring to mind your intention from the start of practice, your positive intention, as if planting it in fertile seed, planting it in fertile ground, knowing that this seed will take root and grow. Whisper it again as if whispering it to your entire body. Say it with love and compassion and truth, as if you already believe it true. And then very gently begin to return to the room. Landing on the mat, landing on the ground in your physical body in this moment in time. You define sensation, feeling the ground below you, or the cushion support, perhaps feeling the blanket, your clothing. Begin to bring gentle movements to the fingers and to the toes. Gently and slowly waking up the body. And trusting in your body's deep intuition, knowing what it needs. Take a very deep breath in and stretch and wiggle in any direction that you feel you need. Maybe the arms go overhead, the legs go long. Just being still and soft for a long time. So allow the body to just kind of move and wiggle. Sometimes you'll get out some creaks and holding patterns and it will just feel fantastic. And then make your way over to your side in a fetal position, curling up in a little ball, and really connecting with being back in the room and grounding down. And Kaylee is asleep. Kaylee fell asleep for yoga nap time, of course. So curling up in a little ball, taking a moment to really ground down, thinking about the earth, thinking about grounding. In the practice of yoga nidra can sometimes stir up some stuff perhaps bringing to the surface some things that we need to let go of, some stuff we're ready to process. So if you find yourself particularly emotional or feeling a little off at all during the day, take the time to connect with nature, connect with the ground, grab a rock, put it in your hand, feel it, go outside, look at the sun. I'm not sure what the weather's like right now, but look at whatever the weather is like right now. Just connect with something grounding. And maybe just taking a little ritual, a little moving and breathing, or something that makes you feel particularly connected and grounded. And taking a moment to really connect with this beginning pose here. And then it's 1 o'clock. It was an hour. Feel free to stay in this grounding pose, to take any rituals that you need coming out of this pose. I thank you very much for practicing with us today with my sleepy Kaylee teen. It's her birthday tomorrow, so I'm going to forgive her. All right, thanks guys.